It's going to be something to go to the beach, go have fun. It's going to be warm this weekend. We got all the fairs coming into the peninsula, to the East Bay. Come on. We got the Valkyries.
Woo, yeah.
We got, Thunder Spurs. Could the Thunder go back-to-back? They're looking poised to do it. They're up 3-2. Taking on the Knicks potentially. That'll be a fun series. Or could the Spurs come back? Let's see. Instead, we're talking about dimensions, finger pointing. We got the GM, Minasian, according to Jim Bowden, who's, tight with Zach Minasian, general manager of the Giants, saying we're all in this together, but the lineup decisions and construction, that's Tony's call. Really? Really? Is that the right move? Probably not. And I find that hard to believe because Posey has said all along, the president of baseball operations, this is a group effort. Not one guy, it's not going to supersede the other. But now we're having Minasian say it's Tony's call for the decisions of the lineup and the construction. Like, there's finger pointing already. There's going to be scapegoating already. It's a mess. And yes, for that reason, I do feel for Tony Vitello when he's asked a question such as this, and you can just hear his brain in real time just trying to process everything.
Tony, just in general, it seems like the Diamondbacks have been a tough matchup for your team this year. What in particular has made them so difficult for you?
I think the thing that stands out as a common theme for us is really we got a chance to capitalize with guys on base offensively, doing a little bit better. You could flip it and say their guys have done a good job. Like Kelly, his 2 starts, wiggling out of trouble. And then it's cost us when we haven't thrown strikes.
I mean, this guy's wearing it early on into the season, Joe. And I know you and I were both kind of optimistic about it. And I still am optimistic about Tony Vitello's future in San Francisco. I just have a bad feeling in my stomach that at the end of the season, when they don't make the playoffs, he's going to be blamed for it. And I just think that's ridiculous. I don't, and you went over it very well. I don't see any other manager taking over this team right now. It could be Jim Leland in his prime. I don't know. Tony La Russa, Joe Torre, Bruce Bochy. The players have to produce at the end of the day, and they're not consistently doing that.
So like last night, it's kind of a tight game. He goes to Eric Miller. Eric Miller served up one of the farthest home runs I've ever seen hit in my life.
Yeah. It's a meatball.
That's on Vitello?
Should he have gone to Bo Rucky earlier?
Does anyone really think that like the starting staff, the decision of who's starting and who it's going to be is all on Vitello and there's no input from the front office?
He's got the final say, though, Joe.
We're old school.
Yeah, he's got the final say. Yeah, we can give all the advice, but he's the one that's going to, dictate things.
Look.
What did you just make of that comment overall from Minasian?
To me, is it a throwaway line? Is it something that we should be looking at and be alarmed? You know what I initially think, and I don't want to make too much of it because, again, Jim Bowden, no one else has really reported on it.
Yeah.
We're finger pointing already?
That's what it feels like. This does feel like finger pointing to me, too. That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, boy, somebody's feeling the heat in that front office. I don't know. Did you catch Tom Tolbert had John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan in the backyard?
Yeah, they're hanging out, drinking some brewskis.
Love Tom Tolbert. I'm not here to disparage a legend. He helped create the medium in this market. Love him. But what I also love about Tom is nothing's very serious. So
that's his kind of persona.
Everything's relaxed. Everyone feels very, very, very comfortable, right? So I want to make sure that I explain that because the tone of seeing the two of them together, to me, felt, hey, we're chilling, we're buds, but that's kind of the Tom Tolbert feel, right?
Sure.
I'm not bashing him in any way, so I don't want anyone to interpret it that way. But it's not a gotcha kind of style.
No. He's not Jim Rome.
No. Could you imagine like Tony Vitello, Buster Posey, and Zach Minasian sitting in the yard doing an interview like that?
No.
Not a chance right now.
No.
Now, they're in the middle of the season.
I could imagine Tony doing it, not the other two guys.
I also don't think I could imagine, to be fair here, Kyle and John doing it in the middle of the year.
No.
At all.
No.
At all. They would never, right? But, middle of the dead season, they were both very relaxed and calm. But to me, the way that they were hanging out, as I watched that entire interview play itself out, I was like, oh, man, they're pretty comfortable. They're pretty tight. Could Dunleavy and Kerr act like that? Maybe, possibly.
Possible.
I don't know, possibly. I just couldn't see a scenario where Posey and Minasian and Vitello would all be chilling like that. But maybe I don't know them, and that's not fair.
I think Tony's a pretty chill guy. Like, just judging what I've seen and heard from him, he is a guy that I think could have that sort of interview style where you can just, hey, invite him over. Hell, he did 30 minutes with their guy Chris Rose, John Boy Media, just chilling in the dugout, just shooting the breeze, just talking about life. And like, I can see him I could honestly see Tony Vitello, if he wanted to go into like the broadcasting game, I think he'd be really good at it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying he should jump ship immediately right now and do that, but that is a pathway for him to succeed, I think, if he ever does want to hang up, the coaching perspective. But yeah, things are getting a little tight now with the organization.
When you're a manager, you're really only as good as your starting pitching. And right now they're starting pitching. Again, you said, because I watched the graphic last night on the NBC broadcast, they had two guys in the bottom 7 of all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, now it's two in the
ERA.
top, two now in the bottom 15. Hauser is out of that, but we got Robbie Ray, the former Cy Young, your number 2 on the staff, and Tyler Malley with the worst ERA in baseball at 6.04.
Wow.
Yeah, 6.04, and then Robbie Ray has a 4.60.
And where's your ace right now?
On the IL.
So,
but should be coming back this weekend, hopefully.
Sure. There's, God, they got so many issues. Look, I'm just going to come out and say it.
Say it.
The Willie Adames home run in the 9th inning, they're down 3 runs. He hits a home run to cut it to 2. There's 2 outs in the 9th. 2 outs in the 9th. And we're skipping around the bases.
Yeesh.
And we're pointing and we're doing this. And then Ramos comes out of the dugout. He's on the IL. Comes out of the dugout, takes the helmet off of him as they're celebrating. I'm thinking, guys, there's a time and a place for the celebrations. I'm all for having fun. I got no problems with having fun. This is like scoring a touchdown, down 21, and then dropping to your knees, and not because you're celebrating, a family member who might have passed away, but dropping to your knees or doing some ridiculous life support on the ball celebration. Read the room just a little. Can we read the room just a little? It's just I long for the days of Matt Williams hit a home run, head down, and just I'm not saying you got to sprint around the bases, but does everything have to be a spectacle for the cameras? Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Every base hit.
Maybe they're trying to keep the clubhouse loose a little bit.
We're 11 games under 500.
And maybe if they stop doing that, Joe, then it's going to get even worse.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to play devil's advocate in a bit.
Am I the old guy?
Well, not just you.
Only a little bit.
Take a listen to what. Hold on.
There's a time and a place. I'm all for celebrating. There's a time and a place. It's one thing to do the look when Steph hits a 3 and they're down a lot and he goes and he does whatever to the sky. I'm sure that's to a loved one or to God or whatever. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying, but the preordained, you don't have Gary Payton coming out and we're not worthy.
Right.
Let me take your sweatband off.
Right.
Ramos, stay in the dugout, dude. We're good.
Brought to you by Golden State, serving the Bear for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com.
I thought it was pathetic.
Wait until you hear what Will Clark, Giants legend, had to say about the outfield celebrations and all of it in his podcast with Eric Burns. Before we get to that, though, Duke and San Bruno's been waiting patiently. What's up, Duke? You're on the roast.
Hey, guys. It's been a while since I called in because I want to chime in about the Giants. I will say this. Last year at this time, I was checked out with the Giants. I've watched more Giants games this year than I can remember, which is just kind of weird. But Giants roster, everybody healthy. On paper, am I the only one that looks at that and says that's a decent roster?
Yes, it is.
What do you guys?
It is.
Okay. All right. So So we know we have a decent roster on paper when everybody's healthy. Okay, I'm going to ask the question: who's the closer?
They don't have one.
Who's the setup guy?
They don't have one.
Where are your middle relievers? I mean, we don't have any pitching. Period. I mean, God bless those guys; they're trying, but we just don't have it. Let's think about glory days Giants: Lincecum, Kane, Schmitt. I mean, had a closer. You had Sergio Romo. He was going in to set up. We don't have any of that anymore. And as far as like Tony Vitello, at the end of the year, if this doesn't go well, I'd get rid of Minasian before rid of Tony Vitello. Strictly for pointing the fingers. That's crap, if you ask me.
I agree. It's a weak move. I think it's a totally. His point is so well taken. Closer, setup guy, and then I would go a step further. They're at least 2 arms short in starting pitching.
At least.
Right?
And we all knew it in real time when they made the signings, like Hauser and Malley. That's the patchwork job we're doing this offseason. After obviously, I think they thought they were going to get a lot more from what they got from Verlander last year. Although Verlander, I thought he righted the ship early, halfway through the season. But I mean, you're replacing a 40-year-old like over the hill pitcher with 2 guys that are also not very good. And you were banking on Logan Webb to just continue to be leading the major leagues in innings pitched. You're just going to continue to count on that. That's something you just can't count on every single year. And unfortunately, we might be seeing the ramifications of that and the wear and tear of all those innings pitched with him being on the IL this year and dealing with knee discomfort.
And amidst all of this negativity, which is right, it's rightful. Like the Giants fans have every right to feel negative right now. I'm not going to poo-poo them. They deserve to feel angry. It's wild to me that I'm watching the emergence of a young player that I'm falling in love with, Casey Schmitt. He hit a ball yesterday. It was 1-0. And it's just sad, just parked one into the left field bleachers. And then Adames gets a triple. First pitch, boom, base hit. We are watching an absolute stud. He's having a monster year.
Yeah.
A monster year. And I feel like Giants fans, I know the ones that are tapped in, they're appreciating them, but I feel like it's being
lost.
Oh,
yeah.
And I feel bad for the guy. He's having a monster year.
It's lost in a bad season, unfortunately.
We're watching a kid come into his own, and I've been begging for them to have a young player be good for a long time, and here we go. We have it, and there's so much negativity. I feel like it's being overshadowed.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGNC FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, and the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries, always live in the free Odyssey app, coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. You asked something that was pretty interesting, and I want to throw it to the audience. 888-957-9570. Is having fun in sports at the professional level, because this is what we're talking about, is it a privilege? And what I mean by that is, you just brought up the celebration. Willie Adames, they're down 3 runs. He hits a solo jack. It's 7-5. 2 outs still in the 9th inning to go.
Well, he's celebrating. Skipping around the bases.
And that bothered you.
No.
You're not the only one,
Joe. It wasn't just that. I have no problem you skipping around and doing you want to point to the sky. Hey, look, dude, I don't know what's going on in his life. There might be an aunt or an uncle or somebody who had recently, because look, I'm not pretending like I don't get emotional at times and people don't know why. I'm saying like the premeditated, hey, get Ramos out of the dugout. Let's pull the helmet off. Stay in the dugout, dude. We're down 3, now down 2, and it's the 9th inning with 2 outs. Just stay in the dugout.
So you're
on the IL.
There's levels of celebration to you that it gets to a point where it's like, come on, read the room.
Yes.
A little bit.
Like when Tom Brady would throw a touchdown pass, down 3 touchdowns, you didn't go, yes, yes, yes. He'd he'd
run up to you, do a little helmet tap, and then run back.
Get off the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what he would do.
And I don't know. It bugged me last night. It really did.
It not only bugged you, take a listen to Will Clark and what he had to say on the Deuces Wild podcast. Him and Eric Burns do a hell of a job. Shout out the boys in the back, though, because there was a lot of cuss words that we had to bleep out because it's Will Clark and he's fired up, and that's why we love him. So thank you, boys in the back, for cleaning this up. Will Clark on the Giants outfield hip thrust celebrations.
A dance where they're doing a pelvic thrust or something like that. I'm like, what the is this, dude? You're 20 and 30. You don't have the luxury of doing that kind of bullshit out there. It looks chicken. Go back, high five each other. Nice job. We won one. Now let's keep it going. Let's keep the freaking train running. The train has been off the tracks a little bit.
It certainly has. Yeah, I don't think I hated it nearly as much as you. I mean, just for the fact that...
Oh, I hate it. I hate it just because it's fucking stupid. You don't do it from a losing team.
Well, you don't even... First of all...
You haven't even earned the right to do it because you're fucking losing.
Emulating some sort of what many would perceive as a sexual act on a baseball field is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, no.
And then to do it on a losing team, and I don't know. It was the first and last time we saw the celebration. At least
I hope that's the last time. I hope it's the last time.
At least it made me feel, though, thrilled that they're together in some sense, I guess. I don't know.
And then they did a different version of the hip thrust celebration, a la Key and Peele. That wasn't as, I don't know, as raunchy as the initial one, because they stopped doing that one with Jung Hoo Lee and company. But Sam got in my ear. He's like, well, you have to win in order for these celebrations to actually happen anyways. And they're not even winning on top of it.
How many football teams in college football do some version of the turnover chain?
Oh, a bunch.
And it's almost diluted when your team's not good. If you're a 5-8 team and you're doing whatever your version is of the turnover chain, kind of falls on deaf ears, does it not?
It does.
And no one's saying you can't have fun. It's just like, it's a lot more cute when you're winning.
But you could still listen, I understand that, but you still want to be loose in the clubhouse. Cause it's a long season, man.
Joe,
it's 162 games. It's a long season.
When did I ever say you can't have fun?
No, you didn't.
I'm saying here's kind of where I draw the line. You're down multiple runs to the team that's kicked your butt the last week, and you hit a 2-out 9th inning home run. I'm not saying you can't, even a fist pump or a little a bashment. You got guys on the IL coming out to take your helmet off you. That's a little much.
Boys, I'm going to put you on the spot in the back right now.
Did you see what the Brewers guy did?
I was bringing that up right now. So Pat Murphy, the manager, had to go at his...
They are a winning team, by the way.
One of his bullpen guys, Abner Uribe.
Who has been ridiculous all year with the over-the-top celebrations.
And he has a 4.5 ERA. He hasn't been great. But he did the D-Generation X, as we did yesterday, the suck it hip thrust with the double X. He did not 1, not 2, but 3 thrusts
at the dugout.
At the dugout on the mound after striking out. The game wasn't even over yet, by the way.
3 is too many.
It was. But
2's the limit.
You got Pat Murphy after the game, quote, I don't know what got over him, talking about Uribe. I mean, he's been an emotional guy, but that kind of thing... That's just not how we do things. I was embarrassed by it. Why are we doing it?
So refreshing.
It's a 6-0 game. What are we doing there? And then he did after that. He did say, I love the kid. Believe me, I love him. There's so much good in this kid. He's been so great for us in so many ways, but that's unacceptable. So whatever's going on, you can't tolerate that for his teammates and for everything. It's not going to be tolerated. That's all there is to it. All right. I don't think Willie Adames, see, these are the levels of celebrating. What Willie Adames doesn't need Tony Vitello to bring him to the side and air him out publicly, because that's exactly what Pat Murphy did. The hip thrust celebrations after winning a game is a slippery slope because you had just won a game, and then immediately after you might have your manager saying something. It's like, oh, we're just trying to be loose. We're just trying to have fun. That being said, those are different than an actual game still happening and you're taunting the opposition. I do think that's a little different.
Well, taunting the competition is a whole nother category.
Because that's basically what he was doing.
Yes. But again, where I draw the line, imagine a guy hitting a 3 down 15 or 20 with 30 seconds to go and doing the over the top, with the 3 and the ice in the veins and all that. It comes off as ridiculous, does it not?
A little bit, but I don't know. If they want to have fun, they can have fun. I'm not the fun police. If you want to go out there, you've earned the right. You're a professional. You think, you know what? You want to build your own confidence and you've been struggling potentially. And doing that stuff gets you going.
So, okay.
Maybe it's a bad optic, but if that's what gets you going.
Player X on the Wizards. Players X on the Wizards comes out and fans with a towel a guy who hits a 3 down 15, because that's what the Giants are. They're the equivalent of the Wizards.
Kispert. There we go. Let's go ahead. Corey
He's
Kispert.
fanning someone who hits a 3 to cut it to 15 with 30 seconds to go in the game. Hey, they're just having fun. Come on.
The season's already done. I mean, What? I'm serious. I'm not the fun police.
Joe,
you want to have fun?
I'm gonna say a name to Niner fans, and they're gonna go, "Oh yeah, I remember." It's a player number 33 who drove me insane. His name was Rashard Robinson, and Rashard Robinson was a clown. There would be an overthrow, dude. We're down 4 scores, and it's an overthrow, and he'd be like, "No, not on my watch." As I do like the X, like no, and then he'd point the finger at the wide receiver and do this, and I'd be like, "Get Rashard Robinson the hell on out of here. Get him out of here." You remember that guy? Does anyone remember that guy? Yeah. The DB? Oh, yeah, you guys didn't watch 2017, I guess, like I did. Yeah.
We were checked out.
Yeah.
We were checked out in the 2017
Niners started off like 0-9 or whatever it was. And Rashard Robinson made it a routine to celebrate like an overthrow or like a breakup of a pass or a guy dropping a ball.
I do love when a DB...
stop.
I love when a DB has nothing to do with the play and he still does the incomplete.
That's my point.
That's
it's
the best.
just ridiculous.
There is parts of me that like chuckles though. Come on.
We can smile, but it's ridiculous.
You got to play with some swagger. You got to play with some positivity, some chutzpah. Come on, Joe. Let's not be the fun police.
Okay, Joe. When you say that, you make it sound like I don't want anyone to have fun. I love having fun. There's, again, a time and a place. For example.
Can you have fun if your team's under, like 10 games under 500?
I was recently
I
was recently at a funeral, okay? I was recently at a funeral, which sucks. And people were, like, laughing and giggling and whatever, like, in the little room before you walk in and come in. And I'm like, there's a time and a place.
Depends. Like, because... if people are at my funeral, I do want them to be happy.
No, I understand that, but like fun. Out of respect for others, like it's a somber, moment, and people are talking up on the podium. You kind of want to be quiet.
Should be quiet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Sure. There's a time and a place.
Well, the time and a place is the after. If there's a after,
the reception, as I call it, or whatever you want to call the after
party. Sounds horrible, but that's what it is.
Yes.
Exactly. Celebration of life.
That's my point. And like,
sure,
I'm not saying that you guys can't enjoy each other's, company and share great memories and all that. But like when someone's talking at a funeral, like just be a little more respectful. And again, I'm not trying to equate a funeral to a baseball game.
No,
but I think there's a time and a place.
Although going to some of these Giants games, it's been a funeral on the field.